Hey everyone, Corey here coming in to do our weekly weekend energy update. I did just record the March, and if you have not seen the March energy update, then go back to the last video and you can also listen to that one as well. Lots of great information that's in this one, or in that one. I don't know what's coming for this one. So today is March the 6th. It is my mama's birthday. Happy birthday to my mama today. It was my son-in-law's yesterday, my husband's tomorrow. It has just been, it's a season for me. March is a big birthday month. Um, and so there is lots to celebrate, but there's a lot that's happening out in the universe that is just like fireworks. So we have a lot of firework energy, but we also have a lot of pause, a lot of calm that is happening. This is the calm before the storm, and we have a much of the calm before the storm energy. And as we enter into, we have the new moon coming up. So on the 10th, we have the new moon, and this new moon is kind of the part that pause before the eclipse season begins. And Aries, of course, being in the 12th, or Pisces being in the 12th house, we are in that, we are in an ending, moving into Aries season coming up next, which will be a beginning again. And so this is also where around the 25th with the lunar eclipse, all of that shift, a lot of the channels changing and shifts that is happening and movements and transits and everything is kind of happening, is that it is if when endings happen, it is a big awakening. So it is a big awakening in the energy, which kind of brings us going in with eyes wide open. And once we see, we can't unsee. It is just like receiving red flags. When you get red flags in a relationship, is that you can't ignore the red flags. The red flags are real, and you can keep putting them down, but they'll keep popping up. And it's kind of funny how it's hard to see it's hard to see the green flags, but it's so easy. It's so easy to see the green flags, but we really don't want the green flags. We tend to want to keep trying to turn red flags green, right? And so we get these red flags, get these warnings, and oh, but. And so this is our way to be able to reason with what we know is really um, unreasonable or not ours to be able to fix. And we have issues with letting go, and because our mind and our ego has such a desire to hold on, to hang on, because we have this desire of what we believe things to be, how we think things should turn out. And that's our problem. We think our lives into creation in so many ways. And so it can make life kind of complicated for us instead of allowing things to be. It simply is what it is. And that's not to discount the experiences that we have to exist in that are not so pretty, not so good. Those are real. They really do happen. Um, but there, life, life's life force energy is always kind of on the move. And when we become stagnant in holding on or keep trying to convince ourselves that something is what it is not, or something should be a certain way, we always set ourselves up for that sense of disappointment. And we say, well, I didn't see this. Yes, we did. And so that sense of radical honesty that is common in what I speak of is that when you're willing to be able to see things that you know you can't unsee, is that you walk in to be able to say, what is this flag? This is a point of where, and it doesn't mean walking beyond our triggers. Our triggers is to protect us, to keep us from going sometimes beyond that, but also recognizing that the triggers, and I'm going to go into that conversation in just a moment, is that sometimes the triggers is running on false truths. So we have to be very aware of what is triggering us, why it's triggering us, and what that trigger is. Is it because of our past traumas? And are we creating, are we bringing all of our past into new experiences and not giving ourselves the opportunity to see with fresh eyes, new eyes, because they see things differently? But when we have something that's on repeat and it keeps repeating itself, when do we end that cycle? It is like the snake and eating its tail, right? It's the eternity. You will be in eternal chaos. It'll be an eternal chaos if we continue to see the red flag, put it down. See the red flag, put it down. And being able to deal, right? And so a big part of the energy that will be with this awakening energy as we move into the end of March will be about dealing to heal. which includes emotional growth, spiritual growth, allowing ourselves to move beyond our our old our old ways. And so this, and I keep doing this because I keep feeling this regurgitated energy, and it's just like it just wants to come up. And you know how we don't want to have to, no, you just don't want to sometimes let something happen in public. Like you don't want to burp in public, and so you keep pushing it back. Excuse me, like try. But it's like that big kind of belch of energy. Maybe I can put it. And sometimes you need that release. And so it is that sense of having a release, right? And if we heal to deal, if we deal to heal, it means we can even, it doesn't mean red flags mean we run from everything. It means it's a stop. It's not a go time, right? And so we're in a kind of seeing a lot of those flags in the energy right now, just as, you know, there's some obstacles, there's some challenges, and sometimes we just got to wait for that, for the potholes to be filled in, for the reconstruction. Sometimes we have to wait for other people to do their work, and that we can't force other people to do work. If you sacrifice all of yourself, you know, if you give all of yourself to someone to in hopes that they will be better, when they get healthier, when they do the work on themselves, you'll be just over here like the roadkill, because you'll be depleted from trying to give so much yourself. You can send that prayer, that desire out, and really truly hope for that best, and sit in that, believing in that sense of self, but also knowing that you don't have to lose you in the hopes that somebody else get better, because you can't give all of your greatness to a situation, to anything, and expect everything to get better that makes you comfortable, because it's not going to happen, right? It's not going to happen. They have to come full circle in their own. The world has to come full circle. And we're witnessing the world have to come full circle. And we're on a world scale. Everything has to come full circle. And so that full circle experience is here. And so when I write in my first book, More Than Existing, it's this one of the conversations that is in one of the very first chapters is literally about, you know, that sense of waiting, you know, giving your all in you know, in hoping somebody else be better. If I show them more love, nobody else has ever shown them love. Yeah, other people have shown them love. They just don't know love, or they just choose to self-sabotage, or whatever it is. Other people have their stories. They have whatever it is that they have to deal with to heal. And the more there is avoidance, diversions, neglecting to see, not wanting to see, the more that that's going to just continue to go this way. And as we move into our energy shift, is we're here to go this way, right? We're here to go this way. We're here to rise. And if we want to rise, is that we can't take all of the deflated, dead energy with us. We have to lighten the load. And by lightening the load is that we can hold on to faith, we can have hope, we can do all of those things. We can still love without sacrificing, right? Not to be the sacrificial lamb to the world, to society, but also to then move and shift dynamics. It's like looking at myself. Why do I want that? And we all have a narcissistic tendency. We're going to be the one we're going to be the one to be the savior for somebody else or something else in the world or in life or whatever it is. But the only one we can be the savior for is within ourselves. And this energy is speaking to us so much right now, and just saying, you know, we can be a great influence. We can do great things. We can really truly be of service, but we have to be of service to self as well. And so it's highlighting the areas of where maybe you need to be of service to yourself. Maybe there's things that are triggering you that there's no way it should be triggering you. It's like the illusions of the empath who can never walk into anywhere, can never be around any people. That's not a truth. That's not the superpower of an empath ties into healing the unhealthy parts of ego so that you exist in your superpowers of the super ego, a part of the identity that gives you the ability to feel, sense, know what you're walking into, so that you're equipped, you're prepared. And the more that you can be equipped and prepared within yourself, is that you can exist in a world that it'll always have the things that are going to be an irritation. We're always going to have an irritation. There's always going to be something that has the possibility to get under our nerve, to be something we don't like, something that is not in alignment to your belief. But we're not here to all be the same, or else we'd be a carbon copy, right? And so that sense of our own triggers, what is triggering me? Why is that triggering me? Where is that coming from? Is it triggering really the person I am today? Or am I still existing in my past stories? Am I still existing in my past? Is it the unhealed instinctual self? And this is a huge part of everything that I teach in More Than Existing, in all of my programs, in the Goddess Within. Everything that I have out there is I'm always speaking about the instinctual self, that primal instinct. So if we're existing in a fight or flight, in one of the F's, freeze, right? If we're in one of those, if we're existing in our survival and only in our survival, is that the old brain's desire to put it in simplicity. It's as simple as, as I could get it at the time of when I first start learning this was, if it's always your ego's desires to always get you back to comfort. But the world is not created and designed for our comfort. That's why you create spaces in your house that, a comfy blanket, a comfy pillow. But the world itself is not obligated and responsible for your happiness, for your joy. No one else is responsible for that. No one else is in this world to make sure that you are respected, that you're seen, that you're understood. It's the fact that this energy and this massive awakening energy, as we move into the eclipse, as we move into an Aries season, I'm an Aries. I know how bold Aries can be, but also how loving Aries could be. It is the opportunity. It is the new beginning of possibility of if we can turn this around, if we can evolve this sense of self, start decoding the story so that you can step into discovering those pieces of your identity and who you are and what you are on a deeper level and really truly take that good look at life. Is that this sense of this super ego realizes that, you know, that flag is speaking to me. And I've seen that flag 4 times. I'm going to confront this part of myself. I'm going to confront this in my relationships. I'm going to deal with this. And I'm not going to already tell myself the story of if I speak up, it's going to cost me the relationship. The red flag is already saying there's something in that relationship, whether it's with yourself, another, with your future, with the world itself, that is just saying to you, it's time to deal. It is time to deal. It's time to put the big girl, the big boy panties on and realize as an adult, because these are for like 18 and over, and that it is really truly to put the big girl, big boy panties on and look at those flags, those irritations, and those places that just says, this is an ending. Endings are not always pretty. They are not always meant to be celebrated. They're coming with or without us. It's the same thing as if you don't make a choice. By not ever making a choice is making a choice. By not making a choice, by not speaking where you need to, by not dealing with what you need to, is making a choice to avoid, ignore, and then having to pay the cost. And others pay the price. That's where secrets come in. That's where the things that come in that affect your relationships, that affect others, that has its effect. And so it is what we do within ourselves, who we are within ourselves, how we show up in the world has an impact on the world that we create and the world that we put around us and the people that are in our world. And we get a choice to say, who will I be in relationship to myself, to my own reflection, to the world, to those that are around me? And is everything that I am saying is triggering me? Is it really triggering me? Or am I finding ways to make sure that I victimize myself, that I'm angry, that I'm frustrated, that my not true self, my shadow self, is the piece of me that is walking forward all the time? Is it that self that is saying, I'm never getting anywhere, I'm never succeeding? There's like popping up. How do you see the green flags? How do you know if you can't trust yourself, right? And so there's a massive shift that is beginning, that is happening, where we begin again. And where it is this, if you walk around saying, I know, I know, I know, but you keep repeating, then you do not know. Radical honesty means there's obviously something I am not getting. There's something in the foundation. There is something all the way back of where I have to look deeper. I have to dig deeper. And I have to really admit to myself, is everyone else the problem? Is everything else the problem? Am I really a problem? Or are there areas that need to be really looked at in a new light? What if we're all okay? We're all born perfectly imperfect. And the things that can really truly help us throughout this life is the things that have been so programmed. If you think of it, most of your thoughts ultimately come from other people's thinking, their imagination into reality, their beliefs becoming your beliefs. What do you believe? What do I believe? What if I don't even, my beliefs have changed many times over. I have been willing to let go of old thoughts, old beliefs, how I would have seen relationships, all of those things. It is all speaking to us. And it's speaking to us in such a way as saying, like, this energy this weekend, as we're preparing to come up to this new moon energy, is setting the intention. And so I pulled a card, and it is the illusionist, right? And so the illusionist, the paradox, and we can be the paradox in our stories. And I'm going to just say to you, go look it up. Go look up the meaning of it. And I don't mean just the Webster dictionary or anything like that. I mean, go look it up. Look up paradox. Look up being an illusionist, right? We all have that ability to create the facades, to exist in the facades. I got all these red flags, but I'm going to pretend I have the perfect marriage. Everything is happy. Everything is good. Well, we don't need to pretend, because there is a reality that is filled with that joy. There is a reality, and it's, I will be at peace with myself when I no longer hold on and harbor these energies, these thoughts, these things that are deep within me. And I don't have to go out and spew them out to the world or onto everyone else, but I can be very honest with myself. And this is what's speaking to us this weekend in such a way. And if you turn the paradox in reverse, this is where attitude comes up. She begins to look a little bit like the hangman. So, is it an act? Is it our truth? Are we, is it time for new perspectives? How we look at things, how we see things, how we see life? That's what's speaking to us. And that's where we are right now. In such a way, we are here to evolve, but we're also here to recognize we are not separate from the pieces of ourselves that we say, well, that's my light, that's my soul, that's my spirit, that's my aura, that's right. These are all a piece of us. It's all a part of us. You're not separate from that self. You are a piece. You are this in wholeness. So this wholeness, this whole truth. So is truth attainable? We get opinions, views, knowledge, perspective, what somebody else believes in, what we believe in. So we're never going to, the only one real truth is the truth beyond the veil. And until we hit that ending and that beginning, that's the only real truth that we get to know. And so when we can start to look at what truths make me feel lighter, freer, glow, happiness, flowing, what truths speak to me in a way of saying, every time this arises, I feel this way, I have this happening, is because we activate that emotional response. And that emotional response that's happening requires a new level of emotional intelligence. Get to know you, get to know, more about your own emotional response, where it comes from, where it began, all the way back into childhood, and then grow it up. What we need is to be the parenting thought. And when you become your parenting thought, your healthy parenting thought, you can evolve from the unhealthy of the ego into the super ego. And so it's really time to start beginning to look at the parenting thought. What is the parenting thought that is rising for me to look at the things that I need to deal with to begin to heal? I send you so much love this week. Thank you for being with me as I am still off on my own healing journey. I will be returning to work part-time. To my clients. I don't call it work no more, but I will be coming back part-time. Sitting here still not always the easiest. Um, but um, but yeah, I've my own personal journey has been about this physical body looks totally fine, but you can't turn, can't twist, can't bend. So this physical body, the scar on my back has healed, but everything inside needs patience. It needs time for the spine to fuse, for everything to be perfectly not just in place, but to stay in place, to not to return to the old past pain, to not to self-sabotage, not to think, okay, I feel okay, so I should do, or I feel guilty that other people have to help me, is I have to be the parenting thought. What does my body need the most? It needs to be it this having this surgery, the years of pain came at a cost, and I'm not willing to sacrifice that part of that self. I'll do whatever it takes to live in a healthy body. You have to deal to heal. And and so we can walk around complaining, we can walk around being angry, we can walk around being all of those things, or we can choose to deal with what we need to deal with. I send you much love. Please subscribe if you like these videos. I will speak with you soon. I'll be back again. If you haven't listened to the monthly, go listen to the monthly as well. There's so much information in all of these videos this month, and we have so much new that's coming. And I just want to share stories. Like there's so many stories of my journey that I just want to be able to share with you now. And I'm looking forward to be able to sit and record one of those and put it out there with you. So much love. And if you haven't got my books, go to my website, go to CorrieThorne.com. It also comes up as Corrie Thorne-Cameron, I think, in the coming days. But if you just go Corrie Thorne right now, you'll also be able to pick it up. Much love. Bye bye.